Hey, what is up? Welcome back to another video. So this video is gonna be a complete guide to A/B testing your emails, and this may look like it's very simple and straightforward because you only have 3 points, but I'll run you through each of them. I'll show you how to perform tests in Klaviyo, what to A/B test, how to analyze the data, and everything you need to know. So it's pretty much A/B email testing playbook that you just have to watch this video and you will know how you can optimize your emails. And we're using those A/B tests to get, for example, we used it to get our client from 30% of revenue from Klaviyo up to 45% every single month. So pretty significant improvement. That's why I'm gonna show you how to do it step by step and what you need to focus on. So as you can see, every A/B test consists of 4 parts. First one is hypothesis, then it's actually running a test, then you're analyzing the data, and then rinse and repeat, so do it once again. So let's start with hypothesis. First of all, you need some sort of data to analyze. So obviously you'll be analyzing initial data. If you're not doing email marketing at all and you have no data, then you won't be able to create hypothesis. That's why I said that you always have some sort of data. At least run your flows for a month, send a few campaigns, have a sign up form for more than a month, and then analyze the initial data and create hypothesis. But this test itself starts with hypothesis. So okay, what I want to test, what could be performing better, and what is the goal of the test. This part, defining a clear goal, is probably one of the most important parts of A/B test, because you have to remember what are you trying to get from each test. So there will be tests like, for example, time delay in the cart abandonment flow, where pretty much you run the test once, but there isn't one variable that you're looking for. I mean, obviously it's going to be revenue, but what may happen after running a test is that you start seeing higher open rates, higher click rates, and higher place order rates for the winning variation. That's why in some cases you need to define what is the goal. So for time delay, like obviously you just want to make more sales. That's pretty straightforward for this one. But then let's say you're A/B testing sending time and day, and you're optimizing for highest open rates, right? You want to promote your blog articles. The purpose of the campaign isn't to sell, it's to educate. So you don't really mind about having higher revenue. I mean, obviously it's important, but overall you're trying to optimize for A/B tests. And here's what I mean. So even if one campaign performed better than the other, you need to see what was the impact of the test. So if variation A had open rate of 60% and variation B had open rate of 40%, obviously variation A won because the open rate was higher. But then if, for example, variation A sold for 1k and variation B sold for 1.5k, you may be like, yeah, okay, variation B is better because it made more sales. Well, technically yes, but if the subject you're testing subject line, that's not necessarily true, because it may have been like in the pool of people that were tested with variation B, there were more people that would buy from you anyway. That's why you need to define what is the goal. So if you're trying to optimize for higher open rates, then see if the test actually had higher open rate, and then you can even run the whole A/B test. For example, send one campaign with the subject line A in month 1, and then after 2 months you can send the same campaign with a different subject line to see if the revenue uplift was actually meaningful or if it just was by mistake. That's what I mean with defining a clear goal. You always want to know what you are trying to optimize for. And again, it's always gonna be revenue. You want to make as much money as possible, but in some cases the testing pool is like, it's random. You have to remember it's like 50-50 split. Usually it's 50% of people, so the chances of like be a part of people of those 50%, let's say 10% of those people are gonna buy anyway. So then like that's why you need to optimize for the clear goal and have it in mind. So then once you have hypothesis, for example, you want to improve open rates in your flows. So you are obviously A/B testing for better open rates. Then you need to define what type of test you want to run. So I've listed a bunch of tests that you can do. Pretty much this is everything you can test over and over again, aside from a few things. So time delay, usually this one is just for like some core flows, mainly pre-purchase flows, and probably most of the time you're gonna run it once per 6 months or anything like that, because the customer behavior doesn't change that quickly, that often. So if you run it in, let's say, January, there's no point in running it in March as well, because it's just been 2 months and it's not gonna change drastically. That's why you need to run it like once and then just see which one was better. And pretty much you can run it like once per 6 months or once per 12 months, it's still fine. Then sending time and day. So this one is important, and it's pretty tough to define if you should ever stop testing that, but usually again, it's all about customer behavior. So once you have enough data to see which sending day and time is better, then you know when to send the emails, and chances are it's gonna be like that for like the next few months or even years. So it's one of those another evergreen tests where like you run it once just to see what's the customer behavior, how the list behaves, and then you just keep doing it over and over again and implementing the winning variation. One thing you have to remember is, again, defining a clear goal. So if you're trying to see, again, like the best example is sending in the morning versus sending in the evening. In the morning, usually we're seeing higher open rates but lower placed order rates. But then in the evening, we're seeing lower opens but higher placed order rates. What it means is that if you're trying to reach people of your educational campaign or like awareness campaign, you want to send it in the morning because you're gonna have more eyeballs on it. But if you're trying to sell a product and promote it, then I would suggest sending it in the evening because this is when most people buy. So that's why defining a clear goal is so important. And then once you have those two things done, you're testing a bunch of stuff that you can be testing over and over and over again. And this is a never-ending process pretty much. So subject lines, preview text, angles, sender's name, which is like from, where the email is sent from, offers, CTAs, design. And design, I didn't want to break it down into every single step. But ideally, you don't want to have too many variables. I always suggest you have two different variables. So version A, version B, without changing like 5 things within one variable, because then you don't know what made the impact on the test and why the winning variation is actually winning. You don't know what made the change. And then copy. So those are all the things that you can test. And to be fair, I listed them from the most important one to the least important one. So I always start tests for flows with time delay. This is because it's the highest impact test. It's gonna have the highest uplift in revenue. So you wanna start with this one. Sending time and day, again, like you won't be running it for months or years. You just need a few emails to get enough volume and see which one's doing better. And once you figure it out, you can just keep doing it over and over again. That's why I always suggest starting with those 2 variations, because once you do them, you can just move forward to testing other parts of the emails. Then subject lines and preview text. So I would say they are equally important, and you want to test them because they can make a huge difference. Like 40% open rate versus 50% open rate, it's like 10% difference. And if you do have it for like 10 emails within all the flows, if you compound it, it's gonna be huge difference. That's why you want to do it. Angles, another thing that you want to test. So again, this is the process that never ends because you can have endless ideas, endless angles. Just keep testing them, see which ones are working well, and then if you find an angle that is working well, try to replicate it, just like with some content like ads, creatives, TikTok videos. Once you find an angle that works, try to recreate it in a different way with a little twist and keep sending it, because if you found something that works, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. And you want to add this campaign to your evergreen campaigns, but still be testing some new angles, because you never know when you hit this gold mine that is gonna make you even more money than your current winning angle. Then sender's name. You may think it's not that important, but it actually is, especially when you're sending plain text emails. It just makes it way more personal. Or like if you have some random, for example, if you're struggling with insomnia and sender's name is, I don't know, good sleep or something like that, or sleep like a baby, you may be like, what the hell? I never thought it's gonna be in my inbox. And it's breaking the pattern because nobody's gonna do it. So playing with sender's name is a great way to stand out in the inbox, because again, people are getting a ton of emails every single day. So just trying different stuff. I even saw some people having sender's name like random letters that didn't make sense. They just like hit the keyword and press send, but it still worked because it drags the attention. I don't recommend you do it in the long term because obviously it's gonna affect your brand in a negative way. So I don't recommend smashing your keyboard and having random sender's name. But if you can come up with some creative sender's name that is related to the product or problem you solve, then I guarantee it's gonna print as crazy. Then offers. So another important thing is both for subject lines, flows, and campaigns. You want to test offers. They're gonna have huge impact on your overall revenue, on your click rate. So test them over and over again. Try different. You can combine with angles, I guess, but still, like, offer is a completely different topic. So yeah, you want to test them as well. CTAs, they're okay. I mean, they're not that important. Actually, maybe I would even put it below copy. So I would say CTAs are maybe even the least important one. Again, it depends on the brand, because sometimes it's so like changing one CTA made click rate from 0.5 to like 1.5, so huge uplift, 3x more clicks. That's why you know, like those three parts are gonna be, I guess, the same importance. They're gonna have the same importance. You just need to see which one is the most important for your brand. Then design, again, a bunch of stuff you can test, and then copy. But again, copy is like similar to angles. So yeah, those are all the things that you can test. And once you run the test, then you just need to analyze the data, see which is the winning variation, and then either move to testing a different thing, or if you're not satisfied with the results, because for example, subject line test, version A had 40% open rate and version B had 42% open rate. It's not a huge uplift. I mean, it's still an uplift, and on the high volume emails, it's gonna make a lot of difference. But if you're not happy with the result, you're trying to optimize it for a 45% open rate, then you can run another subject line test. And that's why I said rinse and repeat. So once you create hypothesis, run a test, then analyze the data, rinse and repeat. Because email marketing is not like set and forget, as many people think. Like, yeah, I'll set up flows and then I don't need to do anything, it'll be printing money. Well, not really. Like, it's gonna be making some sales, but if you could be making 20% versus making 40%, it's 2x more revenue. Like, you can double your revenue from emails just by running constant A/B test and constantly optimizing everything you can come up with. So now I'm gonna show you how to actually perform tests in Klaviyo. Hey, just a short break. So if you're running an e-commerce store and you want to scale it without spending more money on ads, and you want to do it by using email and SMS, go to ventivemail.com and book a call with me. We'll have a quick chat where I'll show you how we can help you add anywhere between 30 to 50% more revenue every single month using email and SMS. Plus, we'll handle for you everything email related. So sign up form, deliverability, flows, campaigns, segmentation, copy, design, anything you can think of. Go to ventivemail.com or click the link below this video, I'll leave it in the description. Click it, book a call, and let's have a chat. Okay, so we're on our Klaviyo Team account. Now I'm gonna show you, let's start with sign up form, and I'll show you like how to A/B test everything, including flows and campaigns. It's very straightforward. So just go to sign up forms, edit form, and then you just press create A/B test. And then again, you can run the test whatever you want. I'm not gonna name it for the video purposes. I don't want to make it too long. But for example, if you let's do it. If you're testing offers, you would do 20% off. The variation B would be, for example, free gift, right? And then you wanna name. You don't have to, but you can name like offers test, and then the date. So like April 2023, whatever, so you know when you started the test, which is quite important. And then variation, you want to see which one's winning, you just press create a test. And then I'm gonna show you how to create A/B test for every single variation. I just want to show you how to do a test for a sign up form. So once you have it, you're switching right there, A/B test, which one you want to run. So this one would be test, for example, 20%, right? So we just change the offer 20%. Yeah, that's it. And now you just go back. You're gonna go to the other variation, which is variation B, free gift. And again, if you would be, for example, testing copy or a different image or anything, you just need to change that. But in this test, I'm just gonna do it like that. So we are changing offer. Obviously, you could insert any variable you can think of. So two micro yes without micro yes, two-step pop-up, email plus SMS versus one-step pop-up. You can test a bunch of stuff. Once you have your variables all ready to go, just press continue to test settings, and then you'll have test settings, which is pretty straightforward. And then what I like to do is I don't like to automatically end the test. I want to see it myself and analyze it on my own, even though obviously you can do it like that, but personally I don't like it. So I turn this off. Then I make sure to check this off. You want a 50-50 split, unless you have like really winning variation. For example, you've already tested 5 offers and you have a winning one, then you can try to do like 70-30 or 60-40. So if the new variation is underperforming, it's not being reflected on the revenue, on the overall performance. But if it's your first test, I always suggest you do 50-50, and then you just press publish test, and that's it. Right now you're testing your sign up form. Now we can just go to flows. I'm gonna show you how to A/B test the flow. So let's just pick any flow that is inside the inside our Klaviyo account. Let's just go with browse abandonment. So yeah, let's start with let's test time delays. So for this one, you would do conditional split. You want to do random sample 50% exactly, and the time delay on this one would be 2 hours. On this one, we would make it 30 minutes, just like that. and then you copy the email because you don't want to change the content of the email. It has to be the exact same email. So that's how you A/B test the structure of the flow. Again, you just go to conditional split, you drag it there, you insert different variables, and you're running the test. Once you have the analytics, you're gonna see which variation is winning. That's how you test the actual flow. Now, if you wanna test the email within the flow, you click on the email, then you go to create A/B test, and you're gonna have a similar window to creating A/B test with the sign up form. It's just email, so that's the only difference. So again, for the name, you can have for example subject line A, let's do like that, right? You can see this is this one, and then you would have subject line B. Pretty simple. So this would be a different subject line. So we saw you eyeing her pieces, for example, right? And then you just again you don't want to choose automatic distribution, you want to run 50-50. Then I'll also turn this off for automatic, so I don't do it. And then winning metric. So if you are doing manual selection of the winning variation, winning metric doesn't really matter because you're gonna see results for both. But if you're doing the automatic winner selection, make sure you check good winning metric, because if you have the automatic winner selection and for example you're testing subject lines and you click rate, it may turn out that for example one variation had click rate 0.02% higher, and it's gonna be a winner, where the truth is that the open rate of this variation was lower. So make sure you check it out. But again, always try to turn this off and still choose the winning metric just for my own convenience when I'm testing. So yeah, this is how we'd be testing subject line. Same goes for the preview text, so you would insert it here, right? Just like that, but I'm gonna do right now. Sender name, this is what I was talking about. So your email agency, for example, we could do a sender name split test like that, right? Just an idea. But yeah, overall you can test anything within there. Same goes for the content and copy and design. You just change the email, edit it, and once you have the variables, you just publish test, set it to live, and again it's gonna go 50-50 with the distribution, which is perfect because it's gonna be our first test. So yeah, that's how you would run the A/B test for the email within the flow. You also know how to run the test within the actual flow. So now the only part left is campaigns, but it's also very simple and very straightforward. And obviously if you're playing with flows, once we have a time delay, you could also play with that, which is sending day and time. So you can delay specific emails to be sent, for example, on Mondays at 5:30 p.m. PST, right? So you can also do that. I also recommend you do it because this is just another variable to test. So if you won't give it a try, it might change quite a lot, especially if you figured out the best sending time for campaigns. You can implement that for your flows, because if you know that specific time and day is working the best, then you can just do it over and over again. So yeah, this is the email. So let's say you have a campaign ready to go. So once you have the campaign ready to go, just make sure all the elements are ready. Then you just create A/B test by pressing this button. So yeah, subject line, let's say subject line A, right? Then you just go to create A/B test. It's gonna create another variation. It looks pretty much the same as with the flows. Again, winning matrix. So now the test size. So this is something that you don't have within the flows. So when you're sending a campaign, you can do something like, for example, send to only 50% of the recipients, and then the winning variation is gonna be sent to other 50%. Again, you have to rely on automatic winners. So if, for example, A/B test subject line, you can do open rate, test size 50-50, and then test duration. So we're gonna be seeing what is the open rate for the first 6 hours, and then the winning variation is gonna be sent to the other 50% of the people. Obviously, you can drag it and change the percentages. It's up to you. But yeah, let's say now we just run a 50-50 test. So yeah, if you want to test the content, this is how you would do it. But if you want to A/B test and obviously you would name the variations and whatnot. I'm not doing it. I just want to make this video to the point and concise. But then if you are switching to, you need to switch to testing send times if you want to actually test send times. So then you'd have, and then if you're testing send time, I would recommend you have the exact same content for both emails, and then just change the date. So let's say you would send the email on first one would be sent on Friday at 4:30 and the other one would be sent on Sunday at the same time, because I'm trying to see if people are opening my emails on Sundays, right? So this is how I would do it. Then again, continue to review and you just schedule or send like you send the campaigns normally. So yeah, that's everything you need to know about A/B tests. Again, this is exactly how you optimize your email marketing performance, how you run the tests to make sure that they actually make sense and they actually bring results. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos and playlists like Klaviyo case studies, tutorials, and anything you can think of. Thanks for watching, have a great day and take care, bye!